and if you know behind the scenes how the president makes fun of himself and the orange hair and everything, and the sense of humor and the doggedness to defeat the globalists and defeat them by bringing in prosperity and justice and the total commitment. They call that mental illness because he doesn't want to dominate the average person. He wants to dominate globalists, which is what a man really should want to do, is stand up for people. Doesn't mean he's perfect, but he has a soft spot for the average American and seen us screwed over, and he's turning things around because it was artificially done. You're holding somebody underwater, folks. You let them come up, they'll come up, just like a beach ball. And Trump is letting the beach ball come up, and they are crapping their britches because they're going to go to prison. They know as the dominoes fall, it's going to get worse. That's why they're fighting for their lives. That's why Phil Mudd's on TV from the CIA saying, we're going to kill the president. Good luck there, scumbag. All right, so this is a short segment, long segment coming up. I want to go to the calls now in the order of who's been holding the longest. Who's been holding the longest here? That'd be James in Florida. And we'll go to Chris, and we'll go to Frank, and we'll go to Jason and everybody else in order here. Let's go ahead. What is your nomination, James?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say Happy New Year to you and your crew.
Thank you.
You guys are outstanding. I have been listening now for a year and a half or so. Opened my eyes to a whole new world of things, and I appreciate that.
We appreciate you, brother.
Being a vet, it means a lot to know you guys are out there, and there's more of us out there fighting for this freedom. All right, the dossier is my nomination for fake news. I was going to say Fusion GPS, but then I realized it's a news organization we need, so I came up with CNN, Brian Stelter especially.
Does Brian Stelter disgust you?
I would say when I see him, I get bouts of stomach pains. His face to me looks like I don't know. I don't even want to go there.
Exactly. We know what he looks like. and they don't know. We don't see him. How could anybody look at that and then hear what comes out of his mouth? We'd never turn your back on him.
All I know is if my kid ever went to a van, an ice cream van, and he was driving, yeah, there would be things happening in a not-so-good way for him.
Oh, boy. It's incredible. But we're going to get these fleas off our back. James, I think that's a great point, and I appreciate you holding. I think a picture's appearing that the dossier and CNN promoting it. I mean, it came out of BuzzFeed, but it's emerging that CNN really is public enemy number one. People aren't even saying MSNBC. It's CNN, 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 CNN. Humpty Dumpty, Brian Stelter. So thank you so much. I appreciate your call. Anything else?
I just want to say that I just started taking your Alpha Power a couple of weeks ago, and amazing. It's doing some good things for me.
Was it as strong as I said? Because it varies person to person.
Well, yeah, I was actually hearing what you said, and I was a little nervous to take it at first, but it didn't affect me like it seems to have affected you. I have really bad soft tissue issues with my knees, and it seems to actually be helping that. And I feel stronger. I'm 41 years old, so it's definitely given me more of a life back.
Well, people ask, why do we have Anthroplex? Why do we have Super Male? Why do we have Alpha Power? They're all different formulations, and they work different for different people. I mean, that's like different brands of coffee, different brands of whiskey. I mean, I'm not complaining to whiskey, but you know, there's different brands of car. Some people like a Dodge, some people like a Ford, some people like a Toyota. But yeah, I know the formulations are very, very strong. So you're probably already pretty naturally amped up. If you've not been amped up, that's when you really, really feel it in the libido area. Thank you, sir. You are dead smack right in the middle of the resistance right now. You know, George Soros and the mainstream media and the big mega corporations and Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan, they're now calling themselves the resistance to what we're doing. And the Davos group is just getting ready to meet the head of the Davos group. Story's up on INFOWARS.com right now. A Nobel Prize winner has come out and said Trump is leading a global insurrection of populist nationalism, threatening global governance. And if he is able to convert the nation states into their own economic system, we are finished. Just like they said, if Hillary loses, it's the big domino there may be no way to reverse our New World Order. That's in the high-level globalist trade publications. That's what's so frustrating for me is they come right out, folks, and say they're going to set up a one-world government, actuary everything to make humans obsolete, then make you get sterilized at first just to get government welfare, but everybody's going to be basically on it. They're going to say everybody's dependent. They're going to make you dependent. And then they're just going to phase you out. And that's the end of humanity. People are like, that's crazy, Jones. Well, Elon Musk comes out and says it word for word because it's what they're doing. Elon Musk, Bill Joy, only a few other billionaire tech heads are warning you. I mean, John Harmon, my oldest producer, still does some work for us. John Harmon was there when Rothkopf, head of the Kissinger Group, offered me, a deal to come work for them. And again, ladies and gentlemen, that wasn't an off-the-record offer. They just blurted it out, so I talk about it. The other offers, if it's off-record and it's not criminal, I don't talk about off-the-record offers from big companies. But I was offered Glenn Beck's job 1 year before I ever heard his name. They said, I want you to move to L.A. or New York, maybe D.C. You will get $1.5 million a year. There will be producers, and you will do what they say when they say. We will have editorial control, but you're going to be a star. And I heard this from local people right up to national. You want to be a star? Or do you want to continue to be on this failed crusade? And then the money went up to $10 million a year. Book deals. And they said, listen, you'll probably have a show on Fox. There'll be book deals, imprint deals. They were looking for their Glenn Beck because they could see where the future was going and what we were trailblazing and what Drudge was trailblazing, what Ron Paul was trailblazing. And they could see there was going to be a movement against this, but they thought, we'll just buy it up. Guess what? I didn't take your Benjamin's, baby. I didn't take the safe path to curl up under your evil wings and let you vomit into my mouth like I was an evil baby bird, stolen loot you got from other people. I'm my own man. Got to come back in the next segment with Elvis's My Way. Because that's what America's all about. It isn't about how rich you are, how cool you are, some big fancy pants thing. It's about what you do as a rugged individualist. And I'm not saying I'm the perfect person, but man, a global diabolical plan for world authoritarianism. I grew up reading about, World War II and my grandpa's in it and everything. And that's what bad guys do. We're going to kick their butt. Doesn't mean America's perfect either, but, I wasn't going to go along with this. And that's all we're doing. And we are changing the world. And they admit we're right. And they fear us, the globalists, the Democrats on the Democratic side of the aisle at the House Intelligence and the Senate Intelligence and the House Armed Services Committee and the Telecommunications Committees. They're in there saying, we want Alex Jones shut down. We want Paul Watson shut down. Should I play the videos again? 4 hearings in the last year. Other people don't get named other than Drudge. They say, we want the Federal Elections Commission, the Federal Trade Commission to shut him down. They have FCC hearings where you got half the commission calling for it. But the chairman's got a power to veto if it's not a clear majority. We're that close to them shutting us down and sending federal regulators in here to shut the lights off, okay? And then they got Flake up there on television with the nerve to point his finger at Trump and say he criticizes the press. He's a dictator for calling it fake news when they say horrible lies about him and unnamed sources. President Trump, if he defends himself against this darling of the globalists, this follower, this little boy. Yeah, Flake is a flake. He took the money. And it's still never going to change the fact that his soul's crooked, just like that nose is. He looks like he got hit in the side of the head with a shovel. I don't usually type it for how they look. It's just, you can't help it. I guess looks like a directional sign or something. Ha, that's trolling the media. That'll get picked up. Jones makes fun of Jeff Flake's nose. No, Jeff Flake is a toadying, sycophantic sophist, because he doesn't come up with his own stuff. Back with the Russia narrative. Now, Trump isn't in the back pocket or isn't the you-know-what holster, as Stephen Colbert said, of Putin. No, no, no. He is Stalin. Okay, let's go to your calls. Frank, I got to go quick now. I'm sorry. We're going to break here in a minute. Frank in North Carolina, thanks for holding so long. I think it's emerging that Russiagate and the dossiers yet. Go ahead.
Yeah, Alec, I just have to say something, man. It seems like every time I turn on your broadcast, you're bragging. It just gets old, man.
I'm going to shut you down right now, okay? We're taking calls about your nomination. Do you understand they're having congressional hearings trying to shut us down? Behind the scenes, they've sued me now 8 times. They're trying to shut us down. They're having congressional hearings saying shut us down. If that was happening to anybody else, I'd be freaked out. Do you understand? I'm ringing the alarm. It's like saying Colonel Travis at the Alamo sending a letter saying we need help is bragging. I mean, what's it going to take? Us being shut down? Is that what you want, Frank?
You know what, Alec?
Hey, put him on pause again. Hey, Frank, I just talked about Drudge, too. They are 1 vote away. They called for criminal charges against me at the Federal Elections Commission and the Federal Trade Commission, and I'm under FBI espionage investigation for working with Russia. That's not, I didn't do that. Do you understand it's not bragging to say we are the tip of the spear, we're under attack, we need your help? As much begging as I do, we can barely pay the bills and grow in the face of this. I'm not going to just stop growth and let them start pushing us backwards. You understand? I need your help, Frank. I need your help, Frank. They're censoring us. They're blocking our advertising. They're blowing us up. Do you understand? I need your help, Frank. Free press needs your help, Frank. So I'm sorry if I'm mad at you, man, but it ain't bragging, bro. It's asking for help. Do you understand that?
You keep saying they. Who is they?
Congressman Quigley, the Board of Governors of the FCC. You can pull up their names. You can pull them up. Hold on. You've been calling in for 10 years or so. I probably played these clips 30 times the last few months. You want me to play them again? Or are you saying they aren't real?
I'm saying you'll never talk about who they are.
Powerful global corporations that have hijacked this country.
How come almost all of them are Jewish?
Oh, well, then why is Matt Drudge they're trying to shut down who's Jewish?
Well, I mean, There are a few things.
Why are they trying to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu, and why is Netanyahu trying to back an American recovery right now?
I don't buy that at all. That's some kind of inside. That's some kind of inside fight going on there.
Frank, I wanted to know what you think. Because if I let you do this and everybody will do it, so we're actually getting to some calls today, Frank. But I want to hear your fake news awards. You want to give it to me, that's fine. But let's come back and I'll give you 60 seconds. Unbelievable. I'm Alex Jones, your host. We're right in the middle of the People's Choice Fake News Awards 2017. The president, 7 days ago, punted and moved the awards ceremony back to today at 4 p.m. Central. Now, we don't know because New York Daily News is fake news most of the time. They've written incredible lies about yours truly. But knowing the White House, they're trying to keep the president from speaking. They're trying to keep him intimidated. Not saying Sanders is, but a lot of them are. Because Jeff Flake came out and said the president, if he has an awards ceremony pointing out lies of the media, why, that's Stalin. And so New York Daily News says, after Jeff Flake's powerful speech that no one even attended in the Senate hall, it looks like Trump may cancel it. Yes, fake news awards, this is probably fake news, absent from Trump's White House schedule, dismissed as potential event. President Trump's so-called fake news awards were up in the air on the eve of the bizarre celebration. Oh, the bizarre celebration of journalists at odds with the White House rhetoric. No, it's showing how you're liars, showing where you did it, showing how you're wrong, showing how your Russian narrative fell apart into total lies. When asked about the ceremony Tuesday afternoon, Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders dismissed Trump's awards as a potential event. By nightfall, the mysterious awards are absent from the president's public schedule today. Sanders told White House reporters she would divulge details of the awards at an unspecified time. So we don't know, because the president always does what he says unless they try to block it. He initially scheduled the awards January 8th before pushing back the event to January 17th. Senator Jeff Flake has planned a Senate floor speech, which he did. Okay, so let's just go to the search engine, type in fake news awards, and let's see what the very latest is for me. Thank you. But it doesn't matter, because you're calling in with your fake news awards, and we've got the cash prizes coming up, and we're going to go right through and do it ourselves. See how that happens? One way or another. I'm going to get you one way or another. Not going away, not stopping. And they fight to keep him from his fireside chats. They fight to keep him from going out and giving speeches. They fight to keep him off his Twitter, because all the media tells them, don't do that and we'll be nice to you. Just like in Saving Private Ryan, where the soldier convinces the guy to stop fighting and then he gets to stab him. No, we're not going to stop. We're going to go on to the end, whatever the cost may be. All right, Frank, go ahead and finish your point. North Carolina.
Yeah, thanks for the 60 seconds, Alex. The obvious longest-running fake news story of 2017 for me is Russiagate. But I got to say, though, if any foreign state has a criminal level of influence over U.S. elections, it's Israel. That's the deep state. It's Zog, it's Israel and its agents in the media of the United States, the mainstream media, and in the government. They're the ones that have a criminal level of influence over our elections, not Russia. And you know, it's funny, all these Jews were fine with Russia and the communism and all that. Hell, Bernie Sanders took his wife there for their honeymoon, because that's where he felt most comfortable. I don't understand why all these young Americans think Bernie Sanders is some big hero. He's a freaking commie.
All right. I appreciate your call. Here's the deal. Israel is a diverse political system. There is clearly an Israel lobby that is heavily involved, getting our defense secrets and selling it to China. I've had guests on even last week about that. It's a serious issue. My problem with the anti-Israel crowd is it's so tunnel-visioned and never talks about anything else. This is breaking news. INFOWARS.com, Project Veritas, new video. We told you it was coming. James O'Keefe exposes Twitter ban users pressured from the communist Chinese government. That video is coming up after I take more calls. And then we have the article from the Washington Post finally telling the truth a few days ago, where they come out and admit that major universities have basically been taken over by the Chinese communist government. Let me tell you who took over Hollywood, the communist Chinese. Let me tell you who took over a lot of the Fortune 100, the communist Chinese. Let me tell you who's got 97% of rare earth minerals, the communist Chinese. Let me tell you who the biggest group of immigrants are here now. Chinese women to have their babies for free. China is screwing us so hard it makes my head spin. And the anti-Israel crowd would have a lot more credibility with me if they talked about the commie Pope pushing world government, or they talked about the communist Chinese, or any of that. But it's always the same thing, man. And then they attribute magical powers to Jews, and then I'm run by Jews and all this other stuff. And then I volunteer things, like my ex-wife's mother was half Jewish. And it turns into, and my ex-wife doesn't practice Judaism, she's a Christian. And then I'm supposedly, going to go to Israel because I work for them and I'm a Jewish person and all this. It's just crazy. If I was Jewish, I'd be proud of it. But it's just craziness, man. And then they were like, look at my sponsors and go, that's a Jew, that's a Jew. And almost none of them were even Jewish. But if they had a German last name, they were all Jews. It's the craziest. The Nazis say Jones is a Jewish last name. I guess there have been Jews before that have taken that name. But, I mean, it's just mental illness, and I'm not into it. I'm not against the Chinese people. People say, oh, you're against Chinese. You're against the communist Chinese. No, I'm against Chinese that are out of control. Chinese government. But I mean, it's China. China. And has Israel, to some extent, sold us out to China? You bet your boots Israel has. And so is our own government. It's wrong. But it doesn't mean I'm foaming at the mouth. And I get the leftist press calling me anti-Semite all the time. And if I criticize George Soros for being a Nazi collaborator, they say it's anti-Semitic. It's a joke. I get the left beats people over the head with that. I get there's a lot of arrogant folks in Hollywood, you know, that they're doing stuff, but it is not the whole shooting match there, brother. Yeah, there's an article. Chinese buying up large chunks of land across America. They own the majority of our debt. On and on and on. Are people like Lloyd Blankfein, though, cheerleading against America? In communist China saying, you'll never come back, America. We're investing in China. Yeah. So is Lloyd Blankfein saying he's anti-American? Absolutely. So, you know, we just report the facts here, ladies and gentlemen. And I want a big tent for people that are non-radical Islamists, Jews, Christians, agnostics, atheists, animists, whatever. Just people, if you want free market, I like you. If you want to have a free society, I like you. Speaking of free society, we're funded by listeners and viewers like you. The network, you know, has sponsors and some of that stuff, but that wouldn't finance what we've built here. So again, InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com, or 888-253-3139. We had 60-plus things, you know, a few weeks ago for 50% off, but most of them sold out. But our best sellers are still in because we order so much of it, but they're getting close. 50% off Secret 12, the highest quality vitamin B12 from our research. Third-party groups tested, said it's the best out there. Survival Shield X2, super incredible and important, 50% off. Real Vitality, 50% off. Pollen Block, our latest product, patented, secret, proprietary, documented system to battle, you know, all these seasonal irritants and problems and the dust and the sinus and all that. It's Japanese quail fed a special secret diet, and it is the concentrated quail eggs, and it just it's amazing for me personally. Nothing's ever worked this good, and I've got serious allergy issues. Pollen Block now available. Seasonal discomfort support at InfoWarsLive.com, 51% off. It's $17.76. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, we are back live. Look, remember a week and a half ago, Trump was lying. He was going to bring in DACA and legalize 40 million people and let people bring in their 14th cousins, and he was a total fraudster and evil, and none of that was true. The DACA was not reasonable. It wasn't what he said during the campaign trail of vetted people that have been there for a long time, that are contributing members of society. You can't bring in, you know, even your first cousins. You just bring in direct family. He was trying to do something more reasonable. Give those folks a path, not direct, instant, like Obama was doing, just totally opening the borders. And they said on the conservative news and the fake news, the mainstream news, they said that he had betrayed everybody, and then he didn't. But this is a little more ominous because we haven't heard anything from Sarah Huckabee Sanders yesterday or today. She said it's a potential event. It was going to be held at 4 o'clock today. That's in like 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 25 minutes. And now they're saying, well, maybe he's going to cancel it because Jeff Flake said he's like Stalin if he attacks the news, and this isn't very presidential. If that's the case, whoever's advising the president is an idiot. Because you can see where this is going. They're going to say the fake news is that he said he was going to have fake news awards. They're not going to say, oh, look, he was a nice guy. They're going to say he couldn't even find any fake news. He couldn't even come up with anything because we've never made a mistake and we've never lied, even though it's in all the WikiLeaks that we lie to you on purpose every day. So you think about that. Trump's fake news awards are shaping up to be a total flop, says the fake news king's Jeff Bezos-owned Washington Post. Finally, the fake news awards. Here's how Trump can win big or lose bigly. That's out of Forbes. Are the fake news awards just fake news? Trump White House teased Wednesday ceremony for weeks, but now it's just a potential event. You know, Trump met with the New York Times, 2-3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago in Mar-a-Lago, and said, we're going to make a deal. Let's work together for the betterment of the country. Let's have that honeymoon period. You normally get the first 200 days that this president never got. Come on, admit you're beaten. It's hurting you politically to keep coming after me. The stock market's back. Black unemployment's the lowest ever. We're taking care of the veterans, on and on and on, increasing their pay. Can you just, and they reportedly, as I said back then, said, we've capitulated. You're right. We're going to stop. And it's all lies. They've stopped nothing. Nothing. So who knows if this is true out of the likes of the Washington Post and New York Daily News and the rest of it. I mean, who knows? Because New York Daily News says that I say that there's Martian bases with slave children. There's no video, there's no audio, I never wrote it. It's total. I mean, it's like saying New York Daily News says there's Martian slave children. It's not true either. So they're a pack of lying scum. Does it mean they tell the truth? Sometimes fine, but here's the deal. We're doing the fake news awards, the people's choice, taking your phone calls, collating them right up to 4 today. And if he doesn't have that press conference, I know they got a bunch of clips lined up of the big lies of 2017. We're going to play those clips, talk about your nominations, have the award, $2,000 first place, $1,000 second place, set of steak knives third place, to have fun pointing out the lies that they hope you forget about. That's why this is so critical. It's why they hate it. And if Trump doesn't do this, it could be because there's some secret North Korean nuke strike test about to happen. And they said, sir, it's too serious. You know, we can't do that today. And I'm telling you, if that's what it is, if Trump isn't doing this, it's because of too serious stuff's been going on. And they're coming to him saying, sir, we need you in the Situation Room. Because that's how they're managing him. But he's so used to stress and staying up 18 hours a day, he's able to handle it. Okay, bam, 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 we're going to your calls now. I want to go to all these calls for the hour ends. Who's been holding? Jason the longest, then John, Chris, Mad, Christian, Kevin, and then Mike. I'm getting to all of you first right now. Jason, thanks for holding. You're a trooper from California. Thank you for holding.
Alex, it's a privilege. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, brother.
The biggest fake news story has got to be that President Trump is a racist. This is pushed by all the fake news networks, but I would have to say that Don Lemon and CNN has got to be the worst. He has no remorse for his race-baiting lies. Now, I want you to think about before he announced his intention to run, there was no hint of any racism from him. His golf courses were some of the first to be inclusive. His friends and celebrities were of all races and all backgrounds. He had that woman, that homeless woman living in Trump Tower that many didn't talk about. How about Haiti? We just found out that he helped Rand Paul go to Haiti to give vision to a bunch of children down there. But from the very beginning, in his very first announcement, they misquoted his words to say that all Mexicans were killers and rapists. But anyone could go to the video and see for themselves that that was not what he said. But they still pushed it, and they still do today.
Well, the proof's in the pudding. What about the lowest black unemployment ever recorded in less than 1 year? That is miraculous.
Oh, you know, they can't keep up with what he's getting done. It's you know, you go back to a year ago and what we were hoping he would get through. You remember we would say if he gets 15% of this push, then that's a success. I think he's way past that already in his first year.
You're right, Jason. We're going to put you on hold and get your info because you're in the running for nominating one of the key proven fake news stories. So that's not number one, that's number two. But we'll see. Let's keep talking to everybody. Thank you, Jason. Let's go to John in Ohio. Thank you for holding so patiently, John.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going out?
Good, brother.
I don't know if it's a story. I don't think it's I'm going to go with the DNC staffer, Seth Rich.
Oh, sure, and how they said that, he didn't really work for us, or he wasn't murdered, well, he was shot in the back, but it was no big deal, and he's not the leaker, but WikiLeaks basically says it is.
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, though, said it's basically been proven that, it was, the information was leaked, not hacked by Russia. And, that's basically one of the, I've heard Russia all night about how that's one of the top stories. Well, I mean, I think.
No, you're right again. Russiagate is what 90% of people are saying, and I tend to agree. And then inside of Russiagate, what particular news item was the most fake? And you're saying the fact that they said it was a Russian hack when the evidence shows now, top forensic experts, former head of the NSA and others, say it was an inside job.
Yeah, it's been proven that it was a leaked document, physically leaked, from a USB drive or something like that. It wasn't a hack. Russia didn't hack.
Sure, and that's a big part of the Russiagate. Let's put you in the running within the whole Russiagate situation. And again, people, we know Russiagate's fake. We're bringing all this up to remember all the things they lied about so that they know we're watching. They hate this more than anything. This is what they count on us not doing. Great points. Okay, who's up next here? Let's go to Chris in Virginia. Chris, you're on the air. Hey, Chris in Virginia, welcome.
Yeah, I was going to go with Fusion GPS, but I had to think about it in terms of the spirit of fake news, so I went with BuzzFeed because in the end of the day, BuzzFeed are probably just going to lose money. other people, because of what they did, what we're going to find out was eventually it's going to come out in the end. Other people may go to jail behind it. BuzzFeed may get off with just losing money because they published this fake document. You know,
I personally experienced BuzzFeed tell whole lies about my custody trial with my children and work to have me lose my children. I mean, these are monstrous people.
Yeah, they're monsters, and but they're only going to lose money. We know that this stuff is made up, and look at all the stuff that's happened because of it. Trump is handicapped on foreign policy when it comes to Russia and other things around the world. Congressional hearings, investigations, blah, 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 this, that, and other. People standing up trying to scream Russia all over the place. And at the end of the day, it was from a made-up document.
Chris, don't hang up. Your points are too good. I want to come back and give you a few minutes because you're really on target. What is the damage fake news has done? We laugh about it and everything because it's important to expose them, but you're right. How much better would things be a year later if, wow, I just got chills thinking about that because I'm looking at things positively, but think about all the bad they did and all the, I'm getting chills. It makes me sick how bad these people are. They're robbing all of us of our future. Frank Sinatra, my way. And Trump is definitely doing it his way, and just the delivery is insane. And then I'm always trying to be positive because positive things are happening. But imagine what has been held up. Imagine what they have blocked. Imagine what they're getting in the way of. And imagine if they're successful, what they're going to do. That was a great point, Chris. Please continue.
I'm saying we're at a point now where Trump is, he's still getting more power of the government. And by having everybody talking about the fake news, it keeps damaging the fake news because they have to keep talking about it themselves and keep trying to stand themselves up. And they're missing the point about what Trump's doing with the economy. He put his faith in the American people and American worker, and the proof is in the pudding. More people are going back to work, and if he can figure out to get Congress to shut down immigration, or at least get us to where we want to be, we win economically, and we'll win for years. And he just got to keep exposing fake news. Like I said, BuzzFeed is going to be at one of the center of one of the worst political scandals in our lifetime. This is definitely history in the making. And there's going to be a lot of scandals coming out, but this is Russiagate is going to be one of the top ones to come out. And I'm just glad.
Well, I totally agree. And think about how it's gone from them denying it was a hoax to it's admitted it's a hoax, and they're running scared. And then Jeff Flake comes out from under the bottom of a rock and starts saying Trump's Stalin because he fights back. You ever notice Trump never attacks? He tries to be nice, then he fights back. And then when he fights back, they can't believe that when they call him all these horrible lies and all this horrible stuff that he talks back to them. And they actually whine and complain about it and call him Stalin and say he's shutting down the press, Chris.
Yeah, that's just, I looked at it, I bust out laughing. It was whining. You know, you're mightier than thou. You're holier than thou. I see what happens when I used to watch C-SPAN, on why they talk the way they do. Like the gentleman from this, the gentleman from that, the gentleman from this, the gentlewoman. They say that talk because the average attention span of the average person, you'll change the channel quick if you listen, and you won't pay attention to the slick stuff, that they do when they try to pump across their propaganda and passing laws.
Well, sure. America was about getting rid of all the royal crown, upper class stuff. Not getting rid of manners, but getting rid of all the parlance that was to keep the average person from being involved in government. You're right. And all of that blue blood stuffed suit garbage, it isn't about parliamentary procedure. It is about how wonderful and powerful and big they are. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Great points, Chris. This is the People's Choice Fake News Awards, meant to build up to the president, supposedly going to go live at 4 o'clock. Can we pull up his Twitter feed and see if he said anything about it yet? We were just checking earlier, and now the media's saying, oh, it's fake news, oh, he backed off, oh, he didn't do it. The only way he'd do this is if there was some major military emergency. North Korea is about to test an atomic weapon or a hydrogen bomb or about to shoot another missile, and they said, sir, we need you in the Situation Room, you can't do it, and there's some big international thing. And that's how they actually control presidents they don't like Kennedy and other people, is they just keep crises going where they can never get their bearing. That's where Michael Moore said they'd get the president would be on foreign affairs by blocking him internally. That's what Chris was kind of getting to earlier. Okay, who's up next? Mad Christian, thank you for holding during the People's Choice Fake News Awards 2017, because the information war goes on regardless of whether Trump arrives at 4 o'clock or not, but I wouldn't count him out yet. Go ahead, Mad Christian.
Alex Jones, ladies and gentlemen, and snowflakes, all alike. I can't just come up with one, Alex. There's so many. I've got 10 myself. I can go through them in 30 seconds.
Do it.
They're in no particular order because that would be racist. But let's start off with Congresswoman Wilson, who said that Trump's phone call to the widow was, disrespectful, and that came out to be fake news.
Oh, yeah. Who's the CNN reporter that said that Trump didn't visit Scalise?
Not sure.
Which one was that? I always forget his name. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, we had Brian Ross reporting that Mike Flynn was instructed to contact the Russians during the campaign. Okay, one of the big ones to me was Yahoo published a AP report that President threatened to invade Russia.
I remember
then
that.
On January 26th, we had the Washington Post said that the entire State Department had resigned. And then we have stupid ones like Dana Schwartz, who tweeted about Trump's hands and that they were photoshopped. The Martin Luther King bus being moved. The Detroit reported that a local businessman flew to Iraq for his sick mother, and while there, she died because she couldn't get back to get medical treatment because of the quote-unquote Muslim ban.
Sir, you are awesome. This is what I wanted to do today. Are you reading off a news article or a list of the mainstream media's lies in 2017? Or do you just have a memory that's good? Because I remember this. And also remember last week, they said that a bunch of our ambassadors to Africa and Haiti resigned, and none of that was true. They're always trying to create these hoaxes.
Oh, another one. Remember this one? The Guardian stated that rumor that transgender teenagers were committing suicide at such a high rate because of Trump's election.
Yep.
And it just goes on and on and on with these people. But the dossier is probably the big one.
Well, you're in the running. We're going to put you on hold and put you in the running for the contest. I don't know what to say about. You're just for your shotgun effect of exactly. And I just forget these. They're back there talking about the lies, too. And everybody needs to think about this so we remember what scum we're dealing with, and then call into C-SPAN, call into talk radio. Just tell folks about their lies. Remind people about the lies. That's what burns them. And then we should talk about INFOWARS, not bragging. How much have we talked about? That's a whole other show that turned out to be accurate. How much did we predict that was dead on, brother? Quite a bit. We're going to put Mad Christian on hold. I think Mad Christian ought to be one of the guys. I want to launch a show soon, and I'm doing it. So put their name on the board, phone numbers in a file. So we do it, then I forget, then I go, where's their names? This fella, whoever. I want listeners that are interesting. Black, white, old, young. I want to do a show with men. I want to do a show with women, where it's people on the phone, people on Skype, people here, and we have these big roundtable discussions with our listeners, commercial-free for hours. I want to put our listeners on air, and you're all great callers. I mean, the guy before that, I should have got his name and number. It's going to be exciting. And you're like, well, that's kind of what callers are, Alex. I know, but the particular callers that kind of then lead the other callers in taking the calls. Mad Christian, and we got you on hold. We're going to go to Kevin. And we're going to go to everybody else who's been holding right when we come back. Boom, boom, boom. Mike is up next as well. Again, just briefly, we had free shipping. We had it for almost a month. We had to get rid of it. I don't get $1.48 like Bezos does of taxpayer money. And it's basically killing us doing the free shipping. But I did it. We got a lot of orders. People supported us. But the free shipping's gone, but it's still very low price. But we still got 50% off on Secret 12, X2, Super Male Vitality, and 4 other products. That's got to end, okay? Because and we've got the new pollen block from the Japanese quail eggs, fed a special diet in France, very, very proprietary, known to really help with seasonal discomfort and the dust and the pollen and those issues. It's very well documented. Go read about it yourself at InfoWarsLife.com. This is our newest product, pollen block, seasonal discomfort support. INFOWARSLife.com. It's a great deal at $34.95, but it's 51% off right now. That's a typo where we say 50, it's 51%. It's $17.76. Promotes healthy sinus function, optimizes respiratory wellness, clinically studied ingredient. It's got one ingredient, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Japanese quail egg concentrate. 84 milligrams, what they found in the studies, is the exact amount you need. INFOWARSLife.com.